My name is Sarah.
And my name is Sharon, and welcome back to Cake Dealers KE, where we bake
and tell. So today, guys, the topic of today, or the topic of the day, is the things we wish we knew when we started baking, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Sharon just peeped at my lists.
I did.
So do not copy my lists. I know. But anyway, I know for a baker, lazima wewe, you have something that you wish you knew.
I told her I'll just say it.
Yeah, because she didn't do her homework, right?
Homework asubuhi.
Anywho, so let me start. The first thing I wish I knew, I wish I was professional when I started, because of course I was starting it as a side hustle. It's like a hobby. You are not so sure if this is what you want, because I started when I was in school, I think in second year. So I was not really sure. So at the end of the day, I mixed up my things. As I was telling Sharon, you can find umeka vitu zenye hazistahili kuwekwa kwa status, your personal issues, ziko pamoja na your cake issues, kila
your
kitu.
Situations zile kwenye boyfriend amekwambia
umepost
the next post umeandika uko na sale ya keki.
Imagine. So people don't even take you seriously, really. Mm-hmm. And then people get to know so many things that they shouldn't know about you, because now people knew I was in school. So the one question everybody used to ask me is, why wewe pesa wewe ni mdogo sana, pesa unapeleka wapi? So
client anakuambia hivyo.
So hata akibagain unashangaa sasa. Anyway,
anaona ni kama anaweza take advantage.
Yes, because you are young.
But also in another aspect is, do not post your personal things, even on your personal number.
Do not.
Yeah.
Try your best to even separate like your personal life and your business sometimes
as early as possible. Yes. It would be really good, because in Afikanga mahali you find someone, you're giving out your personal number to the business, then now you get your personal number. Yes. But as for me, I don't think I would do that. My number is very personal to me. My mom bought me my mom passed away, and she bought me my number. The number I have now is the one she bought me in 20.
The one that you use for your business?
Until now, no, my personal number.
Personal number.
So there are people who call me to order on my personal number. Of course, friends and family and other Kitambo clients use my personal line, and you see if they refer someone, they give them my personal. Although my business line is also very active, so I wouldn't ever change my personal number to the business. No. I'd keep it. I'm very attached. So to avoid such, just as soon as you see your business is peaking and you're sure that is what you want to do,
even not as sure, not even about being sure. Sometimes it's not about being sure. Just do it. It saves you a lot. And also, even coming down to you doing certain things, for example, how you talk to your clients. We understand some clients, saa zingine wanaweza they can, yani wanaweza kukasirisha. So you end up feeling like if somebody is attacking, when you are in business, you separate your business and yourself. So even when a client comes complaining, she's not complaining to Sarah, she's complaining to Nakuru Cake Fairies. So I mean, as at the sidelines, and I'm like, Nakuru Cake Fairies, by the way, you guys, you need to improve on your customer
service. They don't know you.
Yes. So it's very important for you to at least separate and even deal with clients professionally. I find I'm really happy that when even I introduce myself, like I'm like, hi, this is Nakuru Cake Fairies. You're speaking to Eunice. How may I help you?
Yes. If you send a message to our business WhatsApp, you'll see this professionalism in it, and it's very important. There are customers who really appreciate the little things, and even you might win a client for sababu ya just the little professionalism that you have.
Because I remember there's a wedding, the Rora show was done by a different baker, and then the lady told me, I decided to go with you for the wedding because of how professional you are. Because for me, I have a price list. I think the other one did have a price list, and then I also have my terms and conditions. For you to come to me and you want a wedding cake, I usually have questionnaires. I'm like, ndio tusishinde tukienda back and forth ni lini. I have a questionnaire where you just answer the questionnaire, and then now I'll give you the quotation, and then even the terms and conditions, the contracts and all that, so this person can see enyewe this one atakai kuhepa na pesa yangu, so there's that. And also I think even so me, even when I'm talking about professionalism as much, is because of how you deal with clients. I know there are many times I've lost a client because I overreacted. There's a client I remember telling, nobody has ever complained to me about my lemon card. But to be honest, I wish I had advised this client, kama keki ni ya mtoto, usichukue lemon card. I mean, lemon ni lemon, you know. But it was my fault. And I guess I really have to thank God because of the place Nilena Masterclass at Little K Girl. She really is very vocal about how you deal with clients. And also number 2, I remember I had a friend, and it's also good to have people who are in business around you. Because I remember I have my photographer. She's also a friend. She's called Lady Photographer. And she told me, when I told her that incident, and she was like, that person was not complaining to Sarah. That person was complaining to Nakuru Cake Fairies. So you really didn't deal with the issue as it should be dealt with. So it's important for you to show that professionalism.
Exactly. I would add on that with also another example is sometimes a client would complain, maybe something went wrong in the business. Exactly, your business and you are two different entities. Do not handle your business with your own emotions. Because at the end of the day, you sit back and think, in a few years, maybe you're being interviewed somewhere, alafu umefika, you are uko juu, and then when you know now how social media works, uko kwa interview mahali, kesho kutwa receipts zako zinatolewa venye ulikuwa hana clients hivi online. So sometimes just be the bigger person. Ama sometimes there's a client I had to refund her 10%, and I think that is what she wanted. She didn't want cupcakes, she didn't want a discount in the next cake. But the moment I refunded her 10% of the amount she used, she was at peace. And you see, ni hali ya biashara, ni cake pop. Si mimi. If it were me, I would have reacted hivi. Tungekuwa unaniambia nakwambia. But you see, it is cake pop. Cake pop is a company. Cake pop is its own person. How would it want to handle issues professionally? So always remember ku separate emotions na biashara. Okay, so for me, I would say, when you're branding yourself, I don't know. There are people who, I also saw this. There's a lady who was a caterer who was mentioning that there's a person who told her about her business name, and you see, or she's called Brechi. Caterer, or Brechi Kitchen or something. But you see her, she's already grown her brand. There's a point where your brand reaches and imeshafika. Ukianza ku rebrand, unaribu. But from the beginning, if you can you imagine how many cake bakes by we have, or treats by, or you see, and it gets to a place where what I tell my students most of the time is, sit back and think 5-4 years later, you're somewhere in a big office and your check is being written. Will you be happy kiandikwa nini Charlene Cakes? It's not a bad name. It's not bad.
It's actually a pretty name.
But just have professional, look for different names that also mtu akikuja kwa company asemi mimi nataka keki yangu itengenezwe na Charlene. Wewe si Charlene staki. And I have an example of when I used to be in the corporate world. I used to work with a lady, and the lady passed away, may her soul rest in peace. And her company, I feel like one of the reasons her company fell quickly is because her company was her name. Her company was her image. Like whenever she used to go for corporate meetings and everything, she was the center of everything. So when she died, the people in her company, even her husband, wouldn't be able to hold the company as much because people are like, if Koki's not there, then she's not there. The company is not there. And for us, with time, I'm building a legacy for my kids and my grandkids and everything. I would want my name to continue and my business to continue. So you see, if it's cake pop, most of the people come here, they won't know if you're the one ama you're employed ama, there's just that other aspect of business that you should think. Do not think of now, think of later on in life. How would you want your business to look like? How would you want your branding to look like? And to add on that also, brand as soon as possible, because branding is very cheap, by the way. Like I make my stickers with very little money for very many stickers. Also that professionalism, just packaging yako inakaa vizuri. Online you have your own logo as your WhatsApp profile picture or Instagram. Branding is very important for a business because I don't think you would be here watching this podcast if you're not serious about your baking business. So branding and your business name should be very important. Those are the things when you start your business, you want to start professionally. Those are the first things you should look into. Look for someone professional to brand. Actually, kwenda AI na Pinterest.
What's the problem? But it is true. You see, I now understand. Right now, like we were like last year, she gifted me a branding, like somebody to brand my business, and we are still arguing with that person back and forth. I don't want these colors. I want this. Because how many months? 3. Yani bado tuna argue.
Oh, your birthday.
Yeah. From November we have been arguing. Mimi nataka hii hadi nimemwambia wacha nikupe space kidogo because I know creatives you need some time tuitoe kwanza alafu sasa turudi tuone if that is what I really want. Because I also remember LCG telling us when you are doing a rebranding unataka kama for example kumekwa list ya kampuni zenye zimesponsor a certain thing. Hebu niambie kama wewe ukiona kajina kako hapa uniambie unataka kuona kikaje ama watu watakutake seriously wakiona kikaje. You know. So I feel like that's a very interesting point.
So branding is important from the beginning. Usingoje ufike uko 2 years ndo naanza sasa kubrand. Hata ukitumia their clients their corporates yes they don't need e-teams and everything. They need an invoice. Invoice yako tumeandika po Charlene Cakes. Kitu tu umeenda umeprint. No,
unajua kuna Charlene Cakes.
Guy kole.
What Charlene Cakes?
What niseme Sharon Cakes. But I'm sure probably kuna Sharon Cakes, but let me use my name. But you get the gist. Like unakanga unasema in a few years how this
learn
business
from
lori yangu imeandikwa Charlene Cakes. Unataka hivyo? Ama unataka, think about those things in the long term. And at least we're here to tell you the things that for me now, I think I would have done better.
I think on to the third point would be, we have had guests here who have told us the same thing. And I think, I remember having a conversation with you about finances, and I wish I knew I would channel my income through a bank. As soon as I started.
Exactly.
Let there be a pay bill.
Yes.
People will learn. Let there be a pay bill. And that way, when it channels through your bank can be able to give you money when you are in need of it.
You're creating your credit.
Yes.
It's very important. Usione ateta pesa inaingia 2 or 3 times a week. It's important. They will see it's an active pay bill. Wacha ikwe pay bill ama till.
But bora you channel it through your bank.
You can even see, and the good thing with this pay bills and tills nowadays, you're able to see the amount of money that goes through your till, so you know how much your business is making.
It will be easy for even to nini your books and all that.
Exactly.
I wish.
Very important.
I wish I did.
And nowadays tills are so easy to get. You just use your number. So hata jina yako ndo inaonekana if you haven't registered your business on that note.
But it's very important. Even when we go back to branding, you should register your business name as early as you can.
As early as.
I thank God yangu iko imechukuliangwa all those years. Register last year. Imagine. Haiko imechukuliangwa. And especially it had the name Nakuru. So I was a bit. But eventually I registered and it is fine.
So you see, she can get her till number with her name, with the business name. Because she has the, what is it called?
Even at a till number M-Pesa, you can get with your business name.
Ndo nasema hivyo.
Even without being registered. I had one.
Really?
Yes. As long as those agents.
Then the time I was getting mine, they didn't consider that. But it's important. And then also another thing with registering, especially if you register your business name in your bank with your pay bill number, businesses are usually supported more than personal. So those are things you need to consider ukianza because itafika mahali now your business is picking up, you're getting good credits in the bank, now you want to expand and when you go and tell them now you guys you can see how much money goes through my account, I now want to improve, munaweza nipea ngapi, you open bakery, and
And even at the end of the day, when you sometimes I'm from a very right now I'm learning different things when it comes to finances and financial literacy. And right now there are people who are telling me you can't run a business without credit. There are people who are like, yeah, you can run without a credit, but I feel like it's better unajuanga tu iko kuna place nikitaka ku expand. Like the guest that we had, Juicy, was telling us we wanted to move and we knew that we needed money, so we had ndio upate hiyo pesa kununua two door fridge, oven sijui ngapi,
pesa mzuri imekuwa ikipita hapo kwa bank. And I remember when I was opening my paybill number, my relationship manager or whatever, she was telling me your account is very good now. She wanted me to move to the business one. She was telling me it's very good, it would be ideal register ukifungua the business account, because banks wanatakanga hiyo pesa inaingia inatoka ingie itulie, inaingia unalipa supplies, unafanya nini, you transfer to your whatever, but it wants an active account.
Hopefully we will bring someone who will talk about finances, and someone even from the bank who will be able to tell us into details the importance. Yeah. You're the one who said the last one.
Which one? Registering.
Yeah. So you had yours, you're registering.
Gani?
Oh, okay. So the other one is do not buy every tool you see being sold out there. Do not.
Yes.
Mara ukiona sijui scraper inakaje unataka tu kununua. Sijui ukiona nini, please just save money some point.
Kuna vitu zingine you will never use in 7 years.
I know.
Of having that thing.
Kwanza kama wewe unajua mimi napenda chocolate. You know the ones that zilitokeanga zenye zinakaa karatasi ish, but then unamwagilia chocolate then unafunika kwa keki. I don't know how they are called, but zilitokeanga and zilikuwa zinakaa
zile origami.
Niko na ngapi? Almost 6. But you see now the problem is with that, I used it the first 2 times. Kwanza nikishaweka alafu ni spray paint wewe wacha tu. Lakini people wanafika bei kwa sababu ya chocolate yenye una
mingi.
Exactly. So at the end of the day I'm like, why did I buy all this, so it's usinunue kila kitu unaona.
I also have things I bought. I don't mind buying something that I have reached a place where I know that if I buy this thing I am using it. If not, I am making my own way. I will let me tell you what I do. I go to Pinterest, I find shape ya gari yenye nataka. Is it toy? Gari is a toy. I will trace it, I expand it to the size I want, I put a paper and trace, and then I transfer that traced paper to a cardboard. And then that cardboard ndo natumia. Mpaka I have even...
Na kama unashindwa hiyo cardboard utatoa wapi?
Like
toppers zote za birthday.
If you zoom on that number 1 on my cake up there, my dummy cake, that number 1 is from a card. I don't have that size of cutter. I have a big number cutter. But I use a paper. I use that card, I transferred it into a card na nikaifunika na sellotape. So whenever I need that number 1,
you just go there.
Because it's a really nice big size. But I used a paper, nili trace. You don't need to buy everything. You'll find that, because I also tell my students, don't look at this cake studio and think nilienda nikakaa chini mahali nikaanza kusema
ukachukua 1 million.
Nikasema nipei. No, there are things even you buy on order. But a client ame order na hiko na hiki too, and I know this thing I will reuse it, like the alphabet cutter. I bought it, nilijua hii nitatumia 1,000,001. I can't even say, mpaka sasa hata zingine zimeanza kuharibika, because I can't even tell you how many times I've used it. There are things nowadays I buy because I know I will use. But if you're a beginner, you do not need everything. Buy something because you need it. If you see it's a mold or a topper that you might not use a lot, then make a paper topper. Tumia paper topper until you know ikitu sasa sahi nitaitumia sana. Even molds that sometimes there's molds that you won't even use ever after umenunua mara moja. Can you imagine you buy something for 1,200, 800,
exactly,
and you never ever use
it. Kitu ikwe maybe so 200. Here now you can buy to even make your work easier. Because me, I'm also from the school of thought,
make working easier.
If there's something you need to buy that makes your work easier, when
buy. But si kila kitu. Kuna zingine, honestly, there's another way around that you don't need. No, usijaze pia, so that you don't have every Tom, Dick and Harry equipment or topper or mold or Yeah.
Okay.
Do not buy everything.
Sasa yako.
Yangu, photography. I would say start early, having consistent photos on your page, especially Instagram. Instagram is very curated. If you want good photos, even sometimes think about a client wants a photo. Have you done a Masha in the Bear cake? Wewe keki zenye uko nazo, yani ile ulipiga kando ya
nyuma ya sufuria, sijui
sink imejaa vyombo zako za baking, ukaekelelea cake hapo. Have consistent photos and consistent backgrounds for your photos from the beginning. See ati leo, if you go to my Instagram page, I have a very consistent background. Rare 1-2 photos nimepiga nje, but most hata kama nimepiga nje, they're still the same place. Sija change ati leo napiga ndani, kesho napigia huko kwa stairs, kesho nimepigia kwa cake studio, kesho no. Have consistent background and consistent photo.
Especially consistent photo, it even helps you with your clientele. Do you know there's a client of mine who told me, nilijua wewe si con man, sikunye niliona stool inakuanga ever kwa all your cakes. Because kitambo I used to put it on turntable with a stool, and then I take photos apo na nimeka of course portrait. But I'll notice ako stool, something I wouldn't even think about. So akaniambia sasa hivyo ndo nilijua you are not a con man.
Juni photo consistent background. You see, it's important to have consistency of taking your photos. It's important. And learn how to take good photos. It's very simple. As I just said, if mahali shadow iko inafaa ikuwe nyuma ya keki, and that's it. You'll have good photos.
I think for me, something else that I learned is invest in classes. I'm not saying you go to each and every class that you hear, but invest in going for a class. Now, as kitambo, as I said, I was very nilikuwa ule mtu a proud moment ile, you know, I'm a self-taught baker, and that is what I, you know, you unasikianga vizuri pia ukisema hivyo, mimi sikwenda class, you know, but then for me fondant was really hard for me, so I wish I went to that class mapema, and I would have gotten even more knowledge, because even going for a class, you network with people,
there's addition, kuna vitu mingi you learn away from the class.
So your time yote yenye sikuenda class, I wish I had gone, maybe I would have gotten more fondant clients, because every time I used to get fondant clients, I used to refer them to a certain baker. So unaona na lose that your time ya kulearn na ku practice. So just go for a class. Ukiona pia kitu inakusumbua, kuna watu wenye walijifunza fondant na wako sawa nayo, na kuna watu pia hawajaienda class the flowers and they are good with it, but if you find there's something yenye pia uko na interest, you will want to do that class. So kama mimi I've gone for flower classes, I don't even do flowers, but
if push comes to shove, what
I will have to do the flowers. So sometimes just go. Even right now I want to go for the classes za kutengeneza figurines. Even if I can get a macaron class, I think I would go.
That is nice.
No,
I wouldn't though.
I would. I think I would. I really love
pastries.
I really love tiny cute things for baking. Donuts, no, but I love because it takes time. But I love those two tiny things that, come on, you see the dessert cups. But I wouldn't go for a class for a dessert class because I understand now kina cards na nini. But so if you can go for a class, just go. And also when I'm talking about classes, pia research about the class, please.
Tafadhali unaenda
usiende class ukuje tu complainia hapa 1000 years the way those people did this to you, sijui nini. You just didn't do your due diligence. Just venye unanunua shamba pia hii, ebu imagine umelipa a certain amount of money like 50k going for a class, and then you don't get what you're paying for. And then you come and unatupigia kelele hapa. No, just go for a class, research about that class. There's so many people who wanekanga classes huko nje, and then they are like wanaeka picha za watu wenye wameenda class, wanatag watu. Unaona tu kwa watu wako tagged. Hi, what do you think about the class? Was it worth it? Nini hivyo. Then now you go to that class. So for me I will advise someone, if you can go to class as soon as you can, changa hiyo pesa. Kama venye tu ulisema ulipo deposit ya kwanza hivi ya wedding ukaenda class,
because I was like, there's no way I want to break into the wedding industry with guesswork. So the moment my bride alilipa tu wedding yake ya July, alilipa I think April, wedding ya July, her first deposit na mimi nikai transfer master wedding master class. And there is nothing as important as, I think that those are among the most important things I've done in my baking journey. Because when I went for that wedding, I mean that wedding masterclass, I did the wedding in June. And it was so, was it June, end of June. It was such an opening for me. I got 5 weddings that year. And I remember I manifested 5 weddings and I kept on saying, now where am I removing 5 brides? But you see my work. So bride alikuwa kusema, can I see what you did? Na mtumie ile keki yenye nilifanya. And it was a very beautiful cake.
Very.
Yeah,
I loved it.
You invest in something that you know will give you returns haraka. Pia something I always say is do not go for a class if you're not ready for that class. For instance, you're a beginner baker, umekuja class, na unataka kufanya hiyo plus fondant plus flowers. I feel like eka kila kitu. And fondant cakes, you don't get them often. If you're a beginner, hautapata fondant cakes as much. So you can imagine you're a beginner, ndo hata una learn whipping cream, ndo ume learn fondant. Ile siku yenye unapata fondant cake ni 3 months later, hukumbuki anything. So
na ndio maana I guess watu wanaekanga different. Kuna beginner class, kuna master class, kuna sijui interwatch.
Me, I always like to leave the student with time. I improve on the skills I may learn. And then now when you've improved, hata unajua nikikupea keki ya fondant, uko already na basics. So hii tu ni ku add on. Sasa sasa tunatumia whipping cream, tunatumia buttercream, tuna trim hivi, you prepare the cake for fondant like this. But at least hata before kuja class umeangalia videos za fondant, you know the way forward, not a fresh mind.
True.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Zako zimeisha? As usual.
No.
Najua.
Hajaisha.
Oh.
Maybe what I'd say, as a beginner, something I wish I knew kitambo was planning myself. Planning my work, planning and getting enough rest. When you're at home, when working from home, you do not get enough rest. I am a very big advocate for resting and sleeping on time and no siku sako. It's very important. And I'm glad that now I have a cake studio where I know by jioni nafaa kwa nimeenda nyumbani. So mostly mimi by night, if I get tired, then let me have a restful night. Let my memory recover usiku, nipumzike enough. Unlike kukuwa na ukwe very busy during the day, during the night, you get burnout. And we are you find bakers are very young people. And if you're a young person and you're getting fatigued as young as you are, can you imagine if you get to your 40s? Of course, that time tutakuwa na watu tumeemploy, but now you'll be dealing with effects of your fatigue in your young age. Sasa ndio unaanza kuona orthopedic, unaanza kutafuta cardiologist, unaanza kutafuta sijui nini because of a lot of stress and everything like that. So it's important to plan yourself. No, it's not a must to fanya kila kitu the same day. Bake, decorate, no, plan yourself in that you have days that you bake, you have days that you decorate, and then you have days that you deliver. That way you
even hata mtu mwenye hata akikuja last minute utakuwa na time ya kumsqueeze in just because you already planned it.
Exactly.
Wale wenye walibook mapema ulishawabikia keki. And also history ya watu wenye wana book last minute because they want fresh cakes.
It doesn't make sense.
Let me tell you, the cake that they bake Thursday ya mtu wa kukula Saturday, hata ni bake Monday,
hautajua.
But I'm not saying that you bake mapema tena Monday, but at least that ukibake keki zako za Saturday on Thursday jioni, then the rest kwa fridge, and then Friday sasa decorate.
But I think we should do an experiment here on camera. I make cakes 3 days apart. Like kuna cake you make Wednesday, Thursday na Friday, and then tuzieke hapa pamoja, and we cut and tell people to taste.
Yes.
Now we see if someone can say gani litengenezwa mapema. In fact utapata ile yenye iko tamu sana, ni ile ya kwanza yenye litengenezwa because it has had time to develop the flavor just sitting around than a fresh cake ya sai. So those are other things that people don't really understand. But yeah, if you need to plan yourself, you need to rest. Rest is as important as work.
True. Yeah. Very true.
With our nini, you have to rest. Because usipo rest, and because I remember I posted another video on TikTok and I was like, I'm very happy that I don't have orders for Sunday, so I will just be chilled. And someone was like, Mimi amurima babe, it cannot siezi furai. And I'm just like, but it is as important. Rest is as important as working. I'll be more energized during the week than wewe mwenye umefanya hivi. Ile siku fatigue itakupata.
You will know you don't know.
You will know you don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. So rest is as important.
You can even go back to the episode we did with Joy Bells, and you see the way she said that she collapsed and she found herself in the hospital because of fatigue. And also, guys, you remember the time that Nigerian bakers were dying because of fatigue? Si kitu ingine, it was just fatigue.
Yes.
Imagine.
So you learn how to rest.
Yeah.
Imagine your business needs you to be there.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing will be in relation now to the fatigue and everything, you need to start getting help as soon as you can. You see, when I started baking, of course, even right now, I usually just admire myself. I'm just like, kitambo nikio mdogo, ati nikio sa mdogo, siku nilikuwa naanza kubake. I was just like, Aki, I used to bake, I used to wash the utensils, I used to wash the cake studio, and I was okay. By then, I feel kama iko kitu nimefanya. Sahi, hata hizo vyombo sitaki kuziona. But I feel like if you can bring in someone, hata usimwanzie na baking, anza na ku-clean, and then kidogo kidogo mtu ataanza kujua kubake, kidogo kidogo mtu anaanza kudecorate. That is how they say there's a difference between an entrepreneur and a business lady and a business person. Because if you are an entrepreneur, then biashara yako haikufi na wewe. So if you employ someone, for example, like right now, I'm even regretting my decisions. Like right now, I'm in Nairobi and
you've gotten an order.
I've gotten an order. I had now to refer somebody else because I'm not there, and there's nobody like of course kuna mtu nilikuwa nimetrain, but we had to part ways. So it is important to start doing kutafuta mtu help mapema. No, by the time una grow, uanze kusema hey, sasa ndaanza wapi?
We can actually go and record for a whole week and business continues.
Yes, bado tu hata hakuna mnyaju yuko and all that. I feel like that is really, and that is where we are praying our business.
Actually, something I've remembered about having someone. I remember there's a time a client had ordered a cake, and then I think my assistant baked a different cake, and I didn't notice. So simi nika decorate two cake, and then she told me that cake ilikuwa a different flavor, and she's not in the country. So I apologized. I was like, I'll send cupcakes of the flavor you wanted just to make it up. Do you know, she wasn't even mad that the flavor wasn't made. She was mad that someone else baked that cake, not me. And she's like, now I think my money is enough for you, so I'll no longer order from you. Because someone baked, and even the other times she used to order from me, I'm not the one who used to bake. Yes. You know, but the person who's baking is baking to my caliber. Most of the time I'm here when she's baking, and she's baking what I have taught her. Baking is just mixing things, imagine. It doesn't need my personal touch.
I to the tea.
Can you imagine? So, hapo normally nasema sometimes it's very important mtu hata asijue what goes on in.
Hata wewe ni nani? Wacha tu.
Can you imagine ati sasa amekasirika hata order kwa sababu nilijusisha mtu. Imagine. So
yeah, and I feel like don't even be afraid that people
it's okay. Me venye alisema she won't order from me, I was like, me I cannot ban myself hapa kwa studio ni kwenda bake na decorate na deliver na ngangana nikimbie mtu ameorder last minute ni bake, because most of my orders are on order. Sina keki imengojea tu hapo kutumika all the time. So ni kama hivyo ndo venye ameona ni sawa, acha aende mali anabekiwa na mwenye ana decorate.
And I feel like even Joy Bells touched on that issue because she said waliendanga na wakarudi because waliona maybe the quality is still the same. And somebody said, and I quoted, I'll quote it, alisema, if you are perfect in what you do, you will teach us perfectly. As you know, the cakes like hakutakuwa na difference.
Itaonekana tu hakutakuwa na difference. True.
Very so true. That's very important. I think now adding to ones that you really need, you never thought about it but now you really need to know, is that you will have back pains, you will have leg pains na miguu. Kama mimi juzi ninafura miguu na hair like somebody who is pregnant. Do you how many I mean, you will now understand wearing comfortable shoes.
Yeah, very
You will
true.
now have what are they call this
Compression socks.
Yes, you will now
You'll see
have
the importance.
like right
Our
now.
business is just that kind
Yes.
of the one that takes a toll on our body because
Yeah.
you're standing a lot or bending or unakanda fondant kama umeinama.
So yeah, you will have leg pain and you will have back pain. You know. So yeah, I think that is what I will. I think. Do I have any other?
I think Nivo, and to tie on that, rest, to tie on her Nini, find time to adequately rest.
Yeah.
If you cannot rest, then sleep enough hours.
I think I remembered one that I forgot. Never take a break in your business. Never take a break.
Oh yeah.
I know sometimes you have to, because maybe you are a student like me. I had to take a break because I had to go to Kenya School of Law and it is not in Nakuru, so I took a break, but it hurt my business. My business has never been the same as it used to.
For real?
It has never been the same.
Really?
It has never.
Expound.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. If I look back, even the sales, they are not the same. Kitambo, I used to make so many, like you can find in a weekend I would make like 12 cakes.
Oh, really?
Yes, then right now, maybe Pierre, the economy may affect, but also right now you find, yes, maybe unatengeza maybe 6, but those 6 cakes, maybe ziko na pesa mob. So as I was saying, do not take breaks completely. Like as much as you can, try not to take breaks because your business will get hurt. And that's why I usually tell you, I really want to talk with someone who has given birth and how it has taken a toll in their business, how they're handling it, because we have talked. Jebel alisema ya kuona iki affect biashara yake mjua alienda na mtoto hadi kwa studio, but the other people, I would really want to understand how to maneuver through that, because I feel like if you take a break, client leo akikuja asikie you can't take an order, kesho akisikia tena you won't take an order.
I don't know what happened with me because I remember when I got pregnant with my second baby, I took a break permanently because there are times that the doctor told me just take a rest, and I had high blood pressure, so I wouldn't strain my body even more because already it was strained. So I took a break from 10 weeks until 3 months. When my
But was your business big before?
No, it wasn't. I used to get orders.
How many per week?
Per week, maybe 3 or 4. Not as much. No, so unasema kama sahi.
Kama sahi, hebu take a break. Take a break hiyo time.
Mbona ni take a break?
I'm just saying.
Tunangangana hivyo na hiyo tumbo.
Upe nani Ayla a sibling, you see what will happen.
Hii ni sibling. Sibling.
But yeah,
I don't think I would do the same right now. But for me, what I did, I've taken a break twice. When I was pregnant, and there's a time I got a job for a month and then I quit. But what I used to, I never ever said anywhere kitchen closed.
Oh, okay.
But now when people used to just call to order cakes, I used to just tell them I'm no longer baking sahi, I'm no longer baking. But I remember after going to an 8 to 5, I think I had my daughter by then. Did I? No, I didn't. I just went back to baking and I now started just posting a lot on baking and it picked. But now, because we are more informed, there's a way you'll take a break.
Yes.
Unlike kama kitambo ile tu all of a sudden umenyamaza and it affects your business.
I also feel like even leaving it to my sister ilinisaidia to some point kwa sababu even the clients wengine waliona mimi nilienda kabisa nikaenda, so my sister is still there. So even when my sister now left, now all those clients, they came back and they're like, oh yeah, you are still here or something like that. But yeah, if you can, usijaribu ku take a break. That's why we are saying let us build our cake businesses, so to a point yenye hata hiyo time umeenda ku give hata
hakuna mtu anajua
and things are
taking a break.
It's
important.
So yeah, I think those are the things that we wish we knew when we started baking. And yeah, I think you beginners, like, you should
incorporate them right now, so that you have an easier time later on. When your business has blown to bigger heights, it's easier for you.
Because we are saying our main mission here is to change the baking industry in Kenya.
Yes.
We want it to be as big and as a community just like Nigerians and all that. So yeah, that is our main aim here. So please try and tap into those things that we have said, and we see where we are going.
Yeah.
I hope we are going to greater heights. So yeah, it has been a beautiful, beautiful episode, and we enjoyed. I mean, I really enjoyed
this episode.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you've learned something, and you can comment at the bottom and let us know what you would advise a beginner baker, or what you learned the hard way.
Yes.
So that there are things we can still learn.
Yeah. True.
Tumefika pia.
Not yet. So yeah, guys, like, share, subscribe, and remember we are on Spotify, so you can listen to us when you're driving,
when you're baking your cakes,
decorating, and all that. So yeah, bye.
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 Thank you guys for joining our live. Thank you, Annie's Oven. Asante.
Thank you, Anne.
And thank you, Marie. Jenny, asante. Thank you, Lynette.
Hamujazoewa kuona hivyo. Kuonekana hivyo.